We bring you the lunch edition of MBC News with me, Obile Kaisa. The headlines. President Mutharika in talks with various partners to assist government in addressing challenges facing the country. The Department of Disaster Management Affairs, DODMA, impressed with community response towards natural disasters following implementation of its Resilience Building Initiative. And Ministry of Agriculture urges the youth to engage in value addition to transform the country's agricultural sector. And now the news in detail. His Excellency the President, Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, says he is in talks with various partners to assist his government in addressing some of the challenges the country is facing. Professor Mutharika made the remarks at Goliath Trading Center in Tiolo when he made a stopover from Data Farm, where he, the First Lady Professor Gertrude Mutharika, and other family members laid wreaths on late Professor Bingwa Mutharika's mausoleum. Details in this report.
President Mutharika said there is hope that his recent talks with various partners will soon start bearing fruit and that the country's economy will be on the right track.
Kwa emene itinaipeza efe sifa amene tlaisa kuti magesi azonongeka ayi kwa vulake ndikuti magesi mashina magesi ena ndo ukalamba kwambiri ena 6 years ena 70 years ukalamba kwambiri ndeti program miezi 8 esco akonza pa miezi 8 ikatha mavuta amene onse azatha zandalama zakunja amisa anali ku America twikisako ndibodzana nakumanso ndi akuluakulu a World Bank. Banki ya dziko lonse lapansi ya chuma ija. Tayankhula nawo atithandiza. Koma atenga nthawi. Zimatenga nthawi. Sinotile kuyankhula kuti ndalama zibwera mmawa. Yeah. Pakati mati process mapepa osiyana kusaina osiyana komanso evutira osiyana zimatenga nthawi. Kwa ndikuti ashwani kuti wasachera pa zimene zitheka.
President Mutharika also thanked the people from the southern region, particularly Tiolo district, for voting for him and the Democratic Progressive Party DPP in large numbers during the September 2025 general elections. He then emphasized the importance of respecting and abiding by the laws of the land, saying with the DPP-led administration, people are living in peace. In his remarks, DPP's Vice President for the South, Joseph Manamveka, who is also the Minister of Finance, hailed President Mutharika for walking his talk, adding that people have food now as a result of his transformational leadership. Furthermore, President Mutharika urged authorities in district councils to be accountable and use the reformed 5 billion kwacha CDF to develop their areas and improve people's livelihoods. President Mutharika and the First Lady, Professor Gertrude Mutharika, were on a private visit to Ndata Farm in the district, where they and other family members laid wreaths on his brother and the country's third president, late Professor Bingwa Mutharika's Mpumulo Wabata mausoleum. Beatrice Juma, MBC, Tiolo.
Spouse to second Vice President, Madam Tadala Chihana, has called on women in the country to invest in themselves and rise above life's challenges. Chihana made the remarks in Lilongwe during the Woman of Valor High Tea event, where she emphasized the importance of focus and mutual support among women. Details in this report by Chinsi Simoyo.
As part of efforts to foster collaboration among women, Umodzi Park organized a high tea that brought together women from diverse backgrounds. Speaking during the event, Madame Tadala Chihana encouraged women to remain committed to their goals and to uplift others who are striving to succeed, saying collective growth is key to meaningful progress.
It's very important for us as women to now come together and strengthen one another and to remind one another that even in an environment where we seem to be oppressed or people are looking down on us, we need to rise above because God has created us to be helpers, and a helper must always be stronger than the one that she's helping.
Speaking at the same event, Guest Relations Manager for Umodzi Park, Matamando Shagunda, said the gathering aimed to provide a platform for women to connect, share experiences, and discuss issues affecting them, particularly in business.
This is an opportunity for us to interact, but at the same time also network. We're able to understand what others are doing in their various workplaces, businesses, and we're able to learn and encourage each other at the same time so that we can benefit. It can benefit ourselves, but also the nation as Malawi.
One of the women who shared her inspirational story, Abigail Zimadzi, challenged fellow women not to shy away from venturing into big businesses.
Business in most cases requires taking a risk. And in my case, the risk was not knowing whether there will be other people who are interested to take my product. I started with only my daughter and a few friends and neighbors, but as we speak, we serve over 500 families. So this would not have happened if we did not take the risk.
The event was attended by several women dignitaries, including Zimbabwe's ambassador to Malawi, Nancy Sangweme, and African Union resident representative, Ambassador Hilda Mafudzi, among others. Chinsisi Moyo, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Minister of Information Shadrack Namalomba says government is actively engaging various stakeholders to create a fair and sustainable regulatory framework that supports the growth of both commercial and non-profit radio stations. The minister made the remarks during the launch of Radio Maria, Malawi's fundraising event, Marathon, held in Mangochi. He said it is worrisome that profit and non-profit radio stations pay the same fees in some services, a thing which government is working on to address. Devoma reports.
In his remarks, Dr. Namalomba said there is need to consider the diverse financial capacities and operational models of radio stations in Malawi. He said fees such as mounting transmitters and towers should be differentiated, bearing in mind that some radio stations are profit-making entities, while others, like Radio Maria, operate primarily as non-profit organizations.
You can imagine to host a transmitter on a tower, it's in dollars, and it's a lot of money. Even the licensing, except for a community radio, but for radios that are national, but they are not for profit, they are considered the same way that other commercial national radios or TVs are considered. So that is a challenge. And as a Minister of Information and Communication Technology, we have opened up a debate to discuss and to explore how can we make it much easier, much accommodating for these community radios, as well as radios which are national but they are not for commercial purposes.
Director of Radio Maria Malawi, Father Joseph Kimu, said the station survives on well wishers for its operations, and it is for this reason that it came up with the idea of Marathon.
The launch of Marathon of Radio Maria is very, very crucial. Why? Because it intensifies the awareness in the listeners of helping Radio Maria. We beg throughout the year. The minister said someone ridiculed that Radio Maria is always begging. But during the marathon period, we intensify the fundraising activities much more than the ordinary days of Radio Maria.
The marathon fundraising will run for 3 months, with Radio Maria Malawi aiming to raise 60 million kwacha. So far, the Minister of Information, Dr. Shadrack Namalomba, has contributed almost 6 million kwacha. Additionally, other contributions came from the second Vice President, Enoch Chihana, Minister of Homeland Security, Peter Mokito, and Conrad Bako, each donating 2 million kwacha. Finance Minister Joseph Manamveka has contributed 1 million kwacha. By far, the event has realized 22 million kwacha. Dave Umar, MBC News, Mangochi.
The Department of Disaster Management Affairs, DODMA, says it is impressed with the way communities across the country are responding to natural disasters following implementation of its resilience building initiative. Speaking to MBC, Deputy Director for Response at DODMA, Melbourne Bendera, attributed the development, district council empowerment and capacity building for community responders. George Bandas details in this report.
Bendera said since the launch of the initiative, a lot of people are now taking ownership and they are now responding to natural disasters much faster and more effectively than before.
As DODMA, we work with the district council, so they have been given the mandate as well as a district as to coordinate disaster risk management activities within the district. We're working with the leaders within the community, and DODMA is there to support the district. The response has been so good, and the district was the one that was first on the ground with the RIMC individuals and other people who are involved in the disaster risk management. They were the first responders. So you can see that DODMA was coming in to support, but already some of the people had been moved and mobilized to safer areas within the district and at district level.
Commenting on the development, World Food Programme, WFP Malawi, Head of Programs, Acho Chand, said building resilient communities remains critical in the face of increasing natural disasters.
WFP strongly believes in building resilient communities, and I think we have seen in several parts of the country where we anticipate disasters, the impact is reduced. When we have resilient communities, we can see that they're able to cope with the impact. So I think looking at building resilience both at household level and at community level is really critical to reducing the impact of disasters like this. And for a country like Malawi, where climate change related disasters are very common, building community resilience is really critical.
According to experts, continued investment in community training, early warning systems, and a local coordination will remain a priority as Malawi continues to face growing threat of climate-related disasters. George Banda, MBC News, Blantyre.
Emerge Livelihoods has expressed commitment to supporting government efforts in empowering small-scale businesses in Malawi through capacity building, climate resilience, and high-potential agribusiness solutions. Investment portfolio analyst for the organization, Gideon Msoya, made the remarks during a pitching event for top entrepreneurs in Lilongwe. Wanangwa Mvalo has compiled this report, read by Margaret Mapando.
Msoya says that through the Accelerating Sustainable Entrepreneurship for Livelihood Development ASLED project, the organization will select 7 out of 23 agribusinesses to receive support aimed at boosting their growth.
We're targeting agribusiness enterprises and helping them scale their business through capacity strengthening and also a small percentage of them through funding. So through their businesses, they're creating jobs, they're becoming climatic resilience and also impacting that in the communities.
The German government, through GIZ, is financing the ASLED project being implemented by Emerge Livelihoods. GIZ representative Geoffrey Mhango said the partnership targets 125 small and medium enterprises to be trained in climate adaptation measures.
So far we have trained 44. Out of the 44 people, they are the ones who are pitching today so that they can be assisted to implement climate adaptation measures within agriculture. So from the 23 who are pitching, we expect that at least 7 will be selected for further consideration to access the result-based finance.
The pitching event in Lilongwe is providing a platform for entrepreneurs to engage with potential investors, development partners and key ecosystem stakeholders, opening doors for collaboration and growth of small agriculture businesses. Those who will be selected from the pitch event will be recommended for support to boost their businesses through funding. As Malawi continues to face economic and climate challenges, initiatives such as ASLED are expected to play a key role in building resilient and sustainable small businesses across the country.
This is MBC News. A reminder of our top stories.
President Mutharika in talks with various partners to assist government in addressing challenges facing the country. The Department of Disaster Management Affairs, DODMA, impressed with community response towards natural disasters following implementation of its resilience building initiative. And Minister of Agriculture urges the youth to engage in value addition to transform the country's agricultural sector.
Something big is coming on NBC. Not what you've seen before. A new force is about to hit the road. Crafted for presence, engineered for power, designed to turn every head before it even arrives. You'll hear it before you see it. You'll feel it before you know it. This isn't just another launch. It's the beginning of advanced broadcasts. Unveiling soon on NBC. Stay ready.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Agriculture, Irrigation and Water Development has urged new graduates from Mwemba College of Agriculture to engage into value addition to transform the country's agriculture sector. Controller of Agriculture Services in the ministry, Jerome Nkoma, says this will ensure a better return from crops production. Nkoma made the call during a 23rd graduation ceremony for the college. Details in this report by Lonjo Msodoka.
A total of 239 students from Mwemba College of Agriculture have graduated with diplomas in agriculture, marking a significant addition to the agriculture sector. Speaking during the graduation ceremony, Nkoma urged the graduates not to wait to be employed, but rather engage in irrigation farming and adopt modern technologies to enable the country meet its production demands.
For the farmers to be able to contribute to the transformational agenda, they need support from graduates and other people that have graduated before. So our celebration at this graduation is that the 239 students that have graduated add to the volumes of manpower that we have at the moment.
Chairperson of the College Council, Vincent Male, said the college aligns its programs with national priority areas to ensure it produces graduates that are responsive to the country's needs. Male then urged the graduates to use the skills gained in a way that can improve livelihoods.
At the moment, the country is facing challenges. There's a lot of climate change issues that is going on, resulting in low yields, and also we're having challenges with maybe pests and diseases that are affecting most of our crops in the country. So what we're encouraging them is the knowledge which we have imparted on them from Mwemba is instrumental to the country's development, especially when we're tackling these challenges. So we want them to meet the industry and achieve this head-on because we know they're capable.
Mwemba College of Agriculture was established in 2001 with the aim of building capacity in the agriculture sector by providing responsive training in agriculture and rural development. The graduation was held under the theme Towards Resilient Agricultural Value Chains in Malawi, highlighting the importance of strengthening agriculture to support sustainable growth and food security in the country. Lonjezon Sodoka, NBC News, Lilongwe.
Spark Systems Limited has described the launch of its Tier 3 data center as a catalyst for innovation, data sovereignty, as well as digital transformation. Spark Systems Limited Managing Director Wisely Piri pointed out that the data center is ready to host servers, software applications, and other systems from within and across borders. Details in this report.
The launch of the data center marks a turning point in storage and ownership of private data in Malawi. Spark Systems Managing Director Wisely Piri emphasizes that the center will be a catalyst for building the country's digital economy, as more companies will be saving forex through outsourcing data storage systems abroad. He says this will also support the growth of new technological innovations.
So most of the companies, they decided now to be hosting data outside. So you host data outside, that means you're not the owner of the data. We talk about data sovereignty, who owns the data. So then you've hosted the data outside. The payment is in dollars. We're having issues again with dollars. So that's why you're having that development in terms of the technology sector is going a bit raw. Then you've got the issue to do with the smaller companies that cannot create their own server rooms, data centers and all that. So for us, bringing in and creating a data center, it's like we've created a space whereby the cost of hosting the data should be way cheap.
Data center manager in the Department of E-Government, Pukantambi, has described the data center as key towards achieving the Malawi 2063 agenda, as Malawi focuses on self-reliance in all aspects, including digital transformation.
You will recall that within the Malawi 2063 agenda, there are several items that have been outlined in that agenda document. One of which is to transform the country of Malawi into one that's going to self-sustain itself in terms of economy. And to achieve that, it calls for modernization of how we've been doing business as a country. And you cannot talk of modernization without touching on digitalization.
The newly launched private-owned data center is the third center after government launched its own first data center in Blantyre and a second data center in Lilongwe. Trust Office, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Tiolo-based Harris Private Secondary School has strengthened its relationship with the health sector by donating assorted items to the male ward and conducting a cleanup exercise at Tiolo District Hospital. The initiative is part of its community service aimed at supporting healthcare delivery and improving patient welfare. Yohana Chizomola has filed this report.
The initiative comes at a time when various stakeholders continue to encourage institutions to complement government efforts in strengthening service delivery at health facilities through corporate social responsibility programs and community engagement activities. Speaking during the exercise, the school's head teacher, Aurelian Chimbia, said the initiative is intended to instill civic responsibility among learners.
We have many youths this time around who are just staying, and the culture of giving is fading out. So our main purpose is to inculcate in these youth how to give, how to assist the needy.
A Form 3 learner, Sean Nkwezalamba, said the gesture was meant to encourage patients by reminding them that they are not alone.
When we do these charity works, it helps the people that are currently in hospitals to know that they are not alone. It's like we are all together as one.
Meanwhile, Tiolo District Hospital nursing in charge, Josephine Nkoma, commended the school for intervention.
What they have contributed to help the patients in their daily needs, and also they have demonstrated the good work of cleaning the hospital, which will help to improve our surrounding.
The initiative has been widely viewed as a positive example of collaboration between education institutions and health facilities in promoting community welfare and public health standards, with calls for more stakeholders to engage in similar support activities. Yohana Chizomola, MBC News, Tiolo.
Well, that item concludes this edition of MBC News. A reminder of our top stories before we leave.
President Mutharika in talks with various partners to assist government in addressing challenges facing the country. The Department of Disaster Management Affairs roadmap impressed with community response towards natural disasters following implementation of its Resilience Building Initiative. And Ministry of Agriculture urges the youth to engage in value addition to transform the country's agricultural sector.
For live news updates, visit our digital platforms by scanning the QR code at the top right corner of your TV screen. You are with me, Obile Kaisa. Thanks for watching. Good afternoon.